Hey, it's Jay, and it's time to jabber. Hello to you, and welcome to this week's episode. It's going to be slightly different this week because I am actually off to an interview quite soon. That's really why I'm doing this video about interviews. You can come along on the journey with me, and I can tell you all the things that I've learnt and my little bit of research coming up to this interview, and we'll see together if I am successful. Now, I mentioned there one of the things, which is research. I knew I'd got this interview on Tuesday. It's Friday today, so I've had a few days to prepare myself, and that is an essential thing for an interview, is preparation. Find out about the job that you're going for. Doesn't matter what job it is. It could be in your local McDonald's, it could be in a lawyer's firm, it could be a secretary, it could be a temp job, whatever it is. Find out about the place that you are going to the interview for. Make sure you know where it is for a start. Make sure you know how to get there, where you can park if you drive, and all things like that. Little bits of research like that, so you don't find yourself on the day ending up getting lost and being late and then basically losing the job that you could have got. Another aspect of the research is to figure out what they might ask you. Now, you do a Google search for whatever job you're doing, questions that will get asked on a such and such interview. You will find loads of things. I did, and I've actually got a pad that I'll be taking with me, and I have in here written down some of the questions and answers that I will give based on my quick internet search. Talking of, obviously I'm going to be taking this in with me. I've got paper, I've got a couple of pens, I've got in here the letters for the application, the job description that they sent me as well, and I've looked through that and I've picked out elements of that and written down what I'm going to say about that. So they may well ask me about aspects of the job description. I've already come up with my answers and written them down. I'm not going to read them in the interview, but I'm going to have them there. Having written them down, they're in my mind, and have them there in case I do need to refer to it. To me, that shows initiative. It may not go down well. We'll find out later. So, preparing yourself by knowing where it is, preparing yourself by having some information, knowing what they might ask and having your answers ready. Have some questions that you want to ask them as well. You might not get to ask them because they may answer it automatically, but have some questions written down, and I've got that as well. Now, you might be thinking, really, you're going to an interview dressed in a crumpled check red shirt? No, I'm not. I'm not going to put on the clothes that I'm going to wear until before I leave. I don't want to get my lunch down them or anything like that. I'm lucky enough not to have to work this morning, and I've got the interview this afternoon, so I'm very lucky in that aspect. If you're not that lucky, have a change of clothes with you. Speaking of clothes, as you'll see later, I'm going suit and tie. Shirt, jacket, tie, trousers, etc. I've even gone out and bought new shoes, because, as they say, first impressions last. In life, you have, I think it's 5 or 10 seconds when someone makes a snap decision about you. In an interview, it could be up to 30 seconds. And that's not long. That's enough time for them to see what you're wearing, to see how you hold yourself, and how you introduce yourself to the group, the panelists, the interviewer. I've got the suit, the shirt and tie. I would suggest you do that for whatever job. Again, if it's in McDonald's, if it's in the fish and chip shop, if it's in a shop, doesn't matter what it is, unless it's a specific job where you have to wear safety gear or they've told you to wear this, then go trousers, shirt, tie if you're a bloke. If you're a lady, trouser suit maybe. Dress for the job that you want, not the job you have. There's a good old phrase. But dress to impress, there's another one. What you wear and how you present yourself at the start will be key in how the interviewer or interviewers, the panel, see you. I'm going to take you along on the journey, and then I'll bring you back, and we'll wait to hear whether I get the job or not. So I'll add more information on later. I really want to focus on the interview, so I'm going to record more of the tips and bits and pieces that I've learnt from my research later on. And for now, goodbye. I'll see you literally in the next frame. Hello, so here we are in the car, all ready to go. Gonna drive now to where the interview is, and yes, here we go. So I've now got to the car park. I'm now going to make sure my phone is turned off and everything's okay before I even get to where I'm going to be. So here we go. So I've just come out of the interview. I think it went really well. There was one question where I started flapping around, but I said, can I come back to it? And they were like, yep, fine. So we went to another question. I came back to it and was able to answer it a lot better. So I'm pleased with how it went. And now just got to wait and see what happens. Wait for that phone call later today, hopefully, to tell me I've got it. We shall see. So yes, now I'm back at home from the interview, and I'm now waiting for the phone call. On the drive back, I kept thinking, oh, I didn't say that, and oh, I should have said that. One of the things with interviews is you're always going to come away thinking about things that you should have said, or that you could have said, or that you didn't say, and things like that. And well, there's nothing I can do about it now, and that's the thing. I've got to think, I did my best in the situation. I think I did my best. I answered all the questions, and one question, as I said, just as I got in the car from coming out of the interview, I kept faffing around and didn't quite get to the point. So I asked if I could go back to the question, and that, I hope, is a really good thing to do, because we came back to the question at the end, and I was able to give a much better answer than before. All the research and preparation I'd done beforehand paid off, because they realised I had done it. They talked about it at the end. They thanked me for my time, and they said it was clear that I had researched and thought about the position. So going back to what I said earlier, the preparation beforehand is key. As you saw, and as you can see, I went for the shirt and tie. The colour I chose, again, after looking at some websites, they said blue was a good natural colour. There's different colours. There are different colours that mean different things, but blue is a nice middle of the road one. Quite a plain tie, no cartoon characters or anything like that, because it's all about being professional, even if it's, depending on, doesn't matter on the job. So I've now just got to wait around for the phone call. I've got my mobile on now, and I've unplugged my answer phone, so I will have to pick up. And they didn't indicate a time as to when they would phone, but I suspect it's anything between 4 and 5 o'clock, so it's just about 3:30 now, I think. So I don't know. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and eat, because I haven't eaten, because I didn't want to eat before going into the interview, basically in case I spilled anything down me. So I'm really hungry now, so I'm going to go and eat something now, and we shall see. I know there's more things that I wanted to talk about, interview techniques and things like that, but at the moment I just need to eat and calm myself down. So I'll be back with you shortly. So I've just had the phone call, and I was unsuccessful in the application for the job. So this is actually a really good point for the end of this video, that you may think you've done well in interviews, but chances are, you will go to interviews, you will not always, as is the case today, be successful. And there are two ways to go from here. I could get downhearted, and I am upset a bit about not getting the job, and I could just go, oh well, it's not to be, or I can learn from it. I was given a little bit of feedback over the phone. A couple of the questions apparently answered. Textbook answers, absolutely brilliant, but there was one in particular that I didn't go into enough detail, despite all the research I'd done beforehand. It was actually the question that I knew I was faffing around on and I came back to later. They were still looking for a bit more information, a bit more to answer that question with. So it was the question that I thought would be my downfall as such. So at least I know now what I need to brush up on a little bit more. As I say, I could get downhearted and go, oh well, that's it, or I could learn from this. And as with all things in life, it's not always going to go your way. And so to move on, to learn, to think about what went wrong and move on from that is key. So maybe all the advice I was giving earlier, maybe you don't want to take that advice. Who knows? Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time.